Now, your stories, your struggles, and your successes. This is Focus on South Florida.
Good Sunday morning and welcome to Focus on South Florida. Here we examine issues behind the pulse of our community and put into perspective news rocking the nation and the world. I'm CBS 4's Natal Yazea, in for CBS 4 Chief Investigative Reporter Michelle Gillen. Now we begin with an amazing story of beating the odds. Jonathan Spikes is a first-time author and a Miami native, but his childhood in no way prepared him for the success that he now enjoys. Spikes tackles the struggles of young black men, struggles that he went through and rose above. Jonathan, welcome. He is here with us now to talk about his book and about his motivational speaking. Welcome. First off, let's talk about your backstory a little bit. Tell me about your upbringing.
Well, you know, I grew up in Scott Projects in Liberty City, and as you know, that is a tough neighborhood. And there's a lot of things that I had to go through to overcome. And growing up from a father who used to give me alcohol and drugs and cigarettes in the third grade, and then send me over to Liberty City Elementary School, high, and everything like that. So it's a lot of things I had to overcome.
Wow. And also, you were the victim of abuse, I understand.
Yes, I was a victim of sexual molestation, and when I told my mother of the family friend who was molesting me, she grabbed the belt. But she beat me with the belt. And so there's still a hatred towards her.
So what did you have to overcome? Because you're now successful, and your childhood, many do not end up how you end up when they're in rough situations growing up. How did you overcome all of that and move forward?
Well, one of the things that helped me overcome all of that was therapy. Therapy helped me address a lot of things, because a lot of times I used to think I was not worthy of anything. I used to walk with my head down, and anytime success would come my way, I would sabotage it because I was afraid. I didn't think I was good enough to receive it or to have it in my life. And so therapy helped me address those things and to look at it's all about perception.
And now you use your past experiences to motivate other people, which is really amazing. Tell me a bit about this book. I know what I am, and I am not what you call me. This is your book. This is based on your life, roughly?
Yes, it is based on my life, of what I had to overcome and the things that I had to endure, and how I now share the testimony. I share the story to encourage and let other people know that there is hope, redemption, and restoration.
And tell me a little bit about the story, what the young man in the story goes through.
Oh my God, Damon met Blessed is the main character. Damon is demonized, cursed in the beginning, met blessed in the end. And so that's how we go through. Sometimes life could be hard for us, but in the end, it is all worth it. And so it goes about the molestation, the living with low self-esteem, not thinking he was good enough, you know, going through a lot of abuse because of what he suffered at the hands of his mother and father. And then it goes how he was able to overcome those things and become a thriving individual.
And that is the key here, because you actually started a foundation, and you go into schools, correct? And you motivate the kids there. And we actually have a clip that we want to play, and it is with from your campaign. It's a mantra, if you will.
Yeah. Let's talk it out. I see you. I hear you. You matter.
Let's talk it out. So this is a little bit of a segment of his work in the schools. Let's take a listen to that one.
Am committed to resolving conflict peacefully at all times, and to respecting the rights of others by treating them fairly and in the way I would also like to be treated. Let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. All right.
Let's talk it out. You know what? I did some research on you, and I saw you have a little song. I'm going to put you on the spot. What is it, the Let's Talk It Out song?
Yes, the Let's Talk It Out song.
How does it go?
Let's talk it out. Let's talk it out. We don't have to fuss and fight. Let's just talk it out. I got my J's on. It just goes from there.
But that makes a difference for kids, especially those who might identify with music, you know, more than everything else, more than just someone talking at them. And what kind of impact has this made, the foundation, when you go into the schools and you speak to them? What kind of impact has that made on the kids?
Oh my God, it is so wonderful, because it's very interactive. We don't stand there and talk. I always tell the kids, I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to listen to what you have to say. And so we make it very pure learning, fun learning, where we talk to them, they talk back, and we just guide the discussion, because oftentimes they live in the neighborhoods. They're dealing with this every day, and for me to come in there and tell them, no, I'd rather listen to them and see what they have to say. And that's what makes the big difference. We just did a No More Broken Hearts Domestic Violence workshop by Dr. Dorothy Bendros-Mendengal at Miami Jackson High School. And the kids, we did Let's Talk It Out there for the students. And the surveys that we got back, they said how much fun that they had, how much it made a difference, because they take ownership in it.
And it is so important. I know that I myself have covered numerous stories of violence in certain neighborhoods in this community, students being the victims of violence, and lately honor roll students being the victims of violence, just riding their bike through a certain neighborhood and being shot. 2 of the students attended Booker T. Washington, and when I spoke with the students there, they were just trying to focus on taking the FCAT and do well in class. Meanwhile, they have all this violence around them, and their friends were targeted. So for you, you've lived in a neighborhood that was a rough situation for you, and you've overcome this. What, first of all, can the schools do to make a difference? What can the schools do to help these kids?
A lot of times what I do is I tell the kids to think before you act, because I know growing up our parents always told us if someone hit you, you hit them back. So we're already groomed to retaliate against someone. We never could just walk away. They don't say walk away, they say if someone hit you, hit them back. And so what we go in is we try to get them to think before you act. And if you take that one moment to take a deep breath, it's all it is trying to get you to think and slow down before you do something that you will regret later. Because these things that you're doing now, they have real consequences. The way you think when you're 16, 17 is not the way you're going to think when you're 25 years old, but now you're in prison.
And so many folks don't think they have a future.
They don't think they have a future, right.
When you speak with them, that makes a difference. And what can we do as a community for the kids who are surrounded by violence like that in order that they move forward and become, productive members of our community? Right.
And that's the purpose of Let's Talk It Out, is to get them to talk it out, to talk about what's bothering them, how it hurts them, how, like the student that you was just mentioning, they're getting ready to take the FCAT test, but yet they have to deal with all this violence. How can you separate this so I can focus on my studies and not let this affect me? And that's what Let's Talk It Out is all about, giving them a voice, listening to what they have to say, and we just guide the discussion to come to a resolution. It's all about perception.
And I know that you did some play readings at the Adrian Arch Center, I believe. Tell me about that.
Yes, we wrote a play on the book, I Know What I Am and I'm Not What You Call Me, and I turned the script into the Adrian Arch Center, and they contacted me. They said, this is very powerful. We're very interested in producing this for our next season. So what we did was we did a play reading at the Adrian Arch Center, and oh my God, it was phenomenal. To get the audience feedback, to get the people, the community, the media came out, and everybody was just talking about this play that is coming up. The same thing, hope, redemption, and restoration. That is the whole mantra of everything that I do.
You're going to be doing that again at the Adrian Arch Center, you think?
Yes, yes, the play is definitely going to be at the Adrian Arch Center.
Got it.
Yes, we have to. It has to go on. It has to let people know that there is hope.
So growing up, did you think that your work would be featured in the Adrian Arch Center, or featured in such a big way in our community?
Well, first of all, growing up, I wouldn't even thought, this was never on my agenda to do. It was never on my to-do list, so it just happened. I dreamed about it, it just happened. There was nothing that I planned out. So all of this right here is a surprise, because once upon a time, my self-esteem was so low, I couldn't even look into the mirror. And now to experience you talking to me, being on TV and everything like that, and have this smile on my face, it is amazing. It is amazing. So we're not what happened to us, we are what we choose to become.
Wow, let's end it there. Those are some inspirational words. Thank you so much, Jonathan Spikes, author and motivational speaker. We want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All righty.
So still to come, something to help you unplug from daily life, to energize and to relax. What could be better than that? We'll be right back.